Have you ever had that feeling in your business where you look at people's offers and other competitors in your area and you think, I could do it much better than they can? Why are they out there getting all of the success? And what's the difference between them and me? I figured this out about 6 months ago, and the main difference is that they just make more offers than you. There's nothing challenging about it really, apart from that you need to be unafraid of making mistakes and just putting stuff out there that maybe isn't 100% perfect. It can be more of a challenge if you're someone with a really analytical mind, or you spend a lot of time improving and learning and trying to get all these new frameworks and ideas and processes and methods and implementing all of these things, and you just find yourself over optimizing everything to the nth degree while everybody else is having ideas, putting them out there, and then seeing sales and new customers coming into their pipeline. And I was exactly this. I would read hundreds of books, I would buy lots of different courses, I would follow various people on YouTube, and I'd constantly be tweaking and optimizing and changing. And then when I eventually did put stuff out there, sometimes they would fail, they would bomb. And even though I'd spent all of that extra time, effort, thought process, worry, is it good enough, is it not good enough, it didn't actually make any difference. And the biggest thing that was killing me about it was I was taking 3 months to do one of these things. 3 months working on a course, a month working on a webinar, and then putting them out there and finding out that nobody even was going to buy them anyway. So really, the biggest thing that changed for me in my life was the ability to start executing. And if an idea comes into my head, I just start putting it out there. An example of this was about a week and a half ago. I realized that I've been holding myself back a little bit on posting a cohort, because I have a 12-week high ticket program which I sell on LinkedIn through cold DMs and sales. And I wanted to do a 6-week version so I could reach more people, do it a little bit faster, and have an offer that I could turn around a bit quicker for slightly less money. And I've been sitting on it and working on it and optimizing it and making every excuse under the sun for not actually putting it out there and launching it. And then I just realized that it's never going to be ready if I don't just put it out there and start getting some feedback from people. So even me knowing that this is what was holding me back, I still slipped into that pattern, which is crazy. So I put it out there. I posted on LinkedIn, I posted on my Facebook, I reached out to a load of people that I was already connected to through the DMs that maybe stopped replying to me, or it wasn't the right time, or they asked me to come back later, or maybe they never replied. And I sent a message to these people asking if they'd be interested in a 6-week program. Now, before I know it, I've got 8 people signed up in the cohort, and the cohort starts tomorrow, which is wild. Oh, we've got some motorbikes coming in behind here. This is not far from my house in Vietnam. Yeah, so 8 people have signed up, which was a week ago that I advertised it, or didn't even advertise it, through organic channels and cold DMs. And yeah, dead leads, people that weren't replying or whatever. And now I have a full cohort, which is, $8,000 straight through the door. And I also sold it into one of my partners, which is someone I help out with sales and marketing, and their AI certified consultant program. And they asked if I can teach it to their whole cohort for an investment as well. So it's not perfect, it's not ready necessarily, but I know that I've got that knowledge and information there. So the point of the story really is this: you absolutely already have the skills, the knowledge, the capability that you need to launch whatever offer, whether it be low ticket, middle ticket, high ticket. It's all there. But the truth is, it's easier for you to keep optimizing and to keep trying to make it better and to keep improving it and to keep telling yourself you're not ready, because that means that you don't have to face rejection. And no human wants to be rejected. Like, I had a lot of conversations where I put this out there to people and they said, yeah, I'm really interested, yeah, I want to do it. And you send them the information and the payment link, they've already had the information, and then they just ghost you and disappear. Or you agree to discount it and put it at 50% off or whatever for someone because you've known them for a while and you know they'll benefit from it, and then they ghost and disappear. And the reason for that is because they're living in fear and they're scared of actually making a change and making a difference, because in the back of their minds they know that all they need to do is start sending messages and having conversations with people, and risk having a lot of people ignore them and basically just reject them and not give them, what they're expecting. And that's the fear. But the thing is, if you're going to be successful in any business or in any endeavor in life, you need to push through that fear and that boundary. You need to be willing to be told no by a load of people. Oh, I've just upset their dog. Never mind. We'll get a bit further down the road. It was only a small one. Where was I? So yeah, it's almost the fear of success as much as it is the fear of failure. And as business owners and as people that are entrepreneurial, you've already taken all of this risk. You've probably quit your permanent job. You've invested a ton of money in loads of different programs. You've got all this knowledge and all this training, and you know that you've got something that people need and that people will benefit from. But then there's just something there in the back of your mind that stops you doing it, that stops you going out and having a conversation. And I was there myself. I did that for 2 years or more. So many great ideas, so many great concepts. Oh, I'm going to work on this, or I think this is brilliant. And you spend weeks and weeks and weeks, and gradually the idea just starts to fade away, or you've talked yourself out of it, or you believe that it doesn't work for whatever reason. There's loads of excuses people make to avoid putting themselves in an uncomfortable and a difficult position. But all it takes is to go and put it out there and to execute it. Someone told me this about a week and a half ago, and it just reminded me again. And it was part of what drove me to get this cohort started. They just said, I have a ton of friends that are smarter than me, more knowledgeable than me. They've got more experience, various factors of reasons that other people are more knowledgeable than them. But she makes more money than all of those people because she's willing to make a mess. And that's what you need to do, is be willing to make a mess. And honestly, everyone's so wrapped up in their own stuff that nobody will even notice. You might think that they're going to think, oh, look at this idiot, they put out their offer, who's going to want that? That's ridiculous. But that's part of it. That's part of the process. And that's the difference between people who succeed and people who fail and just talk about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. They're willing to put themselves out there and risk it being a failure. They're willing to go and have conversations with 30 people in the DMs and have nobody reply. And they're willing to go back to the drawing board. I'm just looking out over here because I've got a group of dogs following me, which is fun. One of the interesting parts of living in Vietnam, and where I live in between Da Nang and Hoi An. But just think about that. Put that into your mind and think to yourself, how many things have I held myself back on because I was too scared of being told no? How many times have I just gone and written a post and posted it on LinkedIn because I want to feel like I've done something productive? And how often have those passive moves led to any business, or people coming through the door, or asking you what you're doing, or even starting to be inspired by what you're doing? And I bet it's not that many. The world's changed, but in some ways it hasn't. It was always about the people that were willing to put it out there and risk looking foolish. The experts in every field started exactly there. But they didn't wait 3 months to put one offer out there. They put an offer out there every week. Every day they're trying to talk to people to say what they do and get them involved in their business and learning from them. So if you're willing to do that, I can tell you, it will make a massive, massive difference. And it really has for me. Everything I've learned, everything I've filled in my mind, all the AI tools that I've used, yeah, they're great, they help. But in some ways they also hinder, because they make you feel like you're not procrastinating, when really you probably are. So if this has helped, give me a follow or a like or a comment or a subscribe. And even if you don't agree with what I've said, tell me why, tell me what I've missed. And let's try and open up a discussion around what works in business, because Lord knows there's enough rubbish and crap out there that people are putting out and charging money for. Anyway, thanks again, and I will see you next time.